All right, then. This is Rein It In. I'm Matt.
And I'm Rachel.
And today we're going to talk a little bit about some reflections on the halfway point, what we've been up to the last couple of days while we're here in Japan, and mostly about the food we've been eating.
Yep.
So we're sitting here in a hotel in Akita City, Akita, Japan.
Yep.
And it's been a few days since we talked last.
Indeed. And we are, in fact, at basically the halfway point of our trip. So we've been here for 11 days. We've got 11 more. It's been pretty amazing so far.
Yeah. You know, and we talked about this yesterday, this morning. I definitely feel like we've been gone a long time. I definitely miss our cat Laszlo, and I'm glad he's being taken care of by a couple wonderful people who are doing trusted house sitters with us.
Yep.
And
I miss his little
I
face.
miss his little face for sure. But and I miss my bed a bit, but I'm not feeling like I'm done yet. I feel like I still got some in me.
Yeah, which is nice. I mean, I like that feeling when you're on vacation where you're just sort of like, okay, I still have this many days left and it's exciting. And then towards the end, I know I'm going to be like, okay, now I'm really ready to be home, especially because I was realizing earlier today that I'm only home for about 10 days and then I leave again for a much shorter trip, but
yeah,
nonetheless.
So since we talked last, right, we left Ichigo Yuzawa,
which is where our ryokan was.
Yeah, we had some onsen, and then we went to Niigata in Niigata Prefecture. Mm-hmm. And we weren't there very long.
No, we were just there overnight. We've had a few... Well, Akita is our third overnight stop. We've had a few, sort of quick sweep through places.
We spent one night in Niigata. We tasted some sake at a place. We hung out. Did we have an onsen there?
We did.
We did.
Yeah, we had the...
that was the Dormien.
The Dormien, yeah.
So Dormien are like just business hotels.
Yeah, it's kind of Holiday Inn-ish.
You know, that thing it had some style to it. Our room was like half wood, and
that's true.
It wasn't very big. It was pretty efficient.
They're nice though. I mean, and there was an onsen there. Matt got lucky, and his onsen was outside. Mine was not.
Yeah.
I mean, it was still nice, but it wasn't. It didn't have a beautiful view.
And what was the other thing I was going to say? Yeah, we weren't there very long, and then we moved on to Suroka, where we stayed at one of the two best hotels we've ever been at.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. It was all like Scandinavian design, light wood. I mean, it was like
Scandinavian inspired, I think, because it's specifically by a Japanese design company. Yeah.
But
it's called Sweden Terrace. But it's Suiden if you do it in Romanji, which is how it's written.
Yeah. But that place was, I mean, really nicely, and I'm not sure if it's because we booked so far in advance or if it was just because they're like trying to boost their Western tourism.
Yeah.
They gave us this amazing room. You can see some pictures on the Instagram, but we just had this gorgeous view of the mountains. The entire wall of the bedroom basically was windows from a little bit below waist height up.
Well, we had this giant mountain there. There was this. So Sweden is kind of a pun, right? Because it's Swedish design and it looks like Sweden. Mm-hmm. But Sweden, if we did the translation, and Swe is one of the words that I've actually learned in my limited Japanese, and it's a variation of saying water. So Sweden is actually like rice paddy, basically, or something like that, rice paddy field. And it's in the middle of a bunch of rice paddies. They've built this hotel of the Scandinavian design. So it was just very peaceful and quiet. And they also had an onsen. Again, the men's onsen was a little bit nicer than the women's onsen.
I don't know about that, but I mean, it did have a
we had an outdoor
space.
one. But it was basically in a rice paddy that was on the edge of a neighborhood. We're right next to a high school. I could see there being reason to not necessarily have women outside visible
naked.
naked, yeah, because kids would definitely be like getting telescopes, I'm sure. I would have when I was 12 years old or something, right?
Anyway,
Yeah.
so that's a little bit of an update about where we've been.
Yeah. But right now we're in Akita,
Mm-hmm.
Akita City,
Mm-hmm.
Akita Prefecture.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just discussing, this is the first city we've been in that really feels like a livable city.
Yeah.
Tsuruoka was really nice. It was very pleasant, the cute little town. We went to the aquarium.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was peaceful and nice, but it was a place you'd want to go visit and spend a long weekend in a Swedish hotel.
Right, exactly.
And but Akita just seems like it has a different energy. There's stuff going on. People seem pretty casual. Well, at least the place we went for dinner.
I mean, there's a lot of bars in the areas that we've been in so far. But it feels like a manageable size as opposed to, I mean, if I were to move to Japan, I don't know that Tokyo would be my main choice. And I know that Niigata would not be my choice.
Right. Yeah, Niigata was a little bit like, it felt like a bit like a steel town.
It was a little bit
Rust Belt.
Belty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas Akita seems, a lot of stuff was closed. We're here on a Sunday, but it seemed a lot like there was a lot of stuff that was here. Like when we were in some of the other cities, the other towns, I'd say that were like small cities, it seemed like there was a fair amount of stuff that maybe used to be there.
Right.
It wasn't totally run down and closed up, but it was like, it didn't seem like it was in its heyday.
Yeah.
And it seems like a lot of stuff here was just closed because it was Sunday, but everything seemed, pretty active.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it seems nice. So
it's a bit far away from the main city, though, right? Like they probably have an international airport, maybe. Who knows?
They do have an airport, at least.
Yeah.
But reflections on
first
half. So we chose this kind of random route through Japan, partially based on the jellyfish aquarium that is in Tsuruoka.
Yeah.
So we decided we were going to head north and northwest and follow along the coast, go to a bunch of cities up here. And I'm really happy we made that choice.
Yeah.
I mean, the jellyfish were great. There were a lot of them.
Oh my gosh. There was
so
more
many.
variety of jellyfish than I've ever seen.
And I think
and
they
such different kinds.
breed jellyfish or something. They had a whole lab thing going on.
Yeah.
There were all these baby jellyfish that are tiny.
We got a ton of pictures of those too. Rain it in. We obviously got to this podcast. Rain it in _podcast at Instagram.
Yeah, lots of jellyfish pictures and some videos that are really cool.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, some of the things that I expected have definitely been true. Like, as we left Tokyo, and especially after we left Ichigo Yusawa, there's much less English spoken anywhere. So we really do have to just kind of rely on a lot of our incredibly limited Japanese and pointing and knowing a couple of English words and us knowing a couple of Japanese words.
Yeah. Yeah, we had to come up with a new way of saying very little Japanese when people would ask if we know Japanese.
Right.
Because we were saying a little. And the Japanese are very humble folk in general. So when you say a little, that means yes. So when we changed to very little, they were like, ah. Yeah. And then they just used simple words and we got through most things.
Right.
But yeah, I thought it was really interesting. When we were in Tsuruoka, there were a couple other Westerners. There were some Australians and I think some other Asian tourists at the place. It was definitely a tourist hotel, the Sweden Terrace. But we went out to the aquarium and we also went on a little day trip to a little town next door where we went to another sake brewery and tasting. And I would say both of those side trips, which were a majority of the time we were there, we did not see a single Westerner. And I'd say even here in Akita City, which is a little bigger, we saw a couple in Niigata. But I think Niigata is a bit more of a transition spot for some different trains going north and south and in from Tokyo.
Right, I could see that.
And here in Akita, I only saw one other pair of people that were speaking French or Israeli. and probably French, because that's what you thought it was.
I thought
so
it was
you're usually
French.
right. The but it is a little different, right? Like definitely as we've gotten away from Tokyo, it is much more difficult. You definitely need to be willing to roll with stuff.
Yeah, you gotta be willing to be uncomfortable and embarrassed.
Jesus. Yes.
Often.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's travel. I think the biggest difference traveling here as opposed to traveling anywhere else internationally, I mean, because I haven't been a ton of places in Asia, is just that you can't read very much of the alphabet, right? And so menus and stuff are really hard, unlike when you're at a restaurant in Czech Republic or Spain or, Argentina, right? You can read all the letters and then you just put it in your phone and you're like, check, I know what this is.
Right.
But
you can sound something out, right?
Right.
Here, I mean, people don't know, right? We should give a little bit. Probably most people know this, but they've effectively got 3 different writing systems. You got their kanji, which is the most complicated. It's based on Chinese characters. Those are the most difficult to
memorize.
Just to get on board with or something, right?
Yeah.
And the learning curve is much higher. Most of them have multiple meaning or multiple pronunciations.
Right.
So, like, depending on context, it totally is different. And then they have hiragana and katakana, which are more traditionally like our alphabets. But they're like consonant vowel pairs for the most part. And Rachel and I are pretty good with our hiragana and katakana, so we can sound out most things. But the problem is, like, you go to a restaurant, the menu is going to be a combination of generally hiragana and kanji. Katakana is reserved for more foreign words. So, like, I'm in the bathroom and there's hand soap, and I read out the characters, and it says handu sopu. So, or so something similar.
Katakana is usually for borrowed words. It is the same sound system as hiragana, and our reading knowledge, both of us, of katakana and hiragana is okay, but then I read something and I'm like, okay, great, I know now what sounds it makes, but I don't
know what the hell it is. Yeah.
But also, complicating this is anywhere that menus are handwritten, as they are a lot of places, or written in sort of stylized characters, then even our Google Translate on our phones has a hard time translating what it is, because it doesn't recognize the characters because they're not printed clearly. So
and we've been lucky with a couple places. I wasn't expecting the izakaya we went to tonight. I didn't expect them to have an English menu. Right. I was just expecting to point at stuff.
Right.
And we use hopefully I'm saying it mostly right. People seem to respond to it. You say osusume, and it's basically like, what's your recommendation? And they'll say something, and you're like, sure, sounds good. So that worked tonight. So anyways, but so
with
that's kind of transitioning
maybe we'll
to food,
transition to talking about food. Yeah.
Let's take a quick break here real quick.
In the last episode, I mentioned that I'm not an incredibly adventurous eater, but I think I'm going to have to revise that a little bit after the last week or so of eating.
Yeah, you've been doing awesome. We haven't had much mayonnaise, so that helps.
Yeah, it really does. Mayonnaise is my fucking kryptonite. So I did, however, for all of my friends who have heard me complain about mayonnaise forever, I did eat part of a salad with a
giant mayonnaise salad, yeah.
Based dressing.
We talked about that though, because that was one of our last days in Tokyo.
Right. So, but anyway, as sort of our language skills and English menus and communication skills have become more challenging. Obviously, we're not picking foods in quite the same way. I mean, today we had English menu,
but we still ordered a bunch of crazy ass shit.
Right. Yeah. Partially because of
I thought this was PG. Anyways, I guess not.
Osusume. It's PG. Whatever. Yeah.
There's no boobs.
There's no boobs. This is not Game of Thrones.
Right.
No boobs, no violence.
But yeah, where do we start?
Swearing.
Niigata. What did we eat in Niigata?
We had cocoa curry in Niigata.
Oh yeah, cocoa curry. So
It's
they
the
are
Waffle House of curries.
Yeah, we are so not on their radar. But there's this couple, Simon and Martina. They are from Canada. They've been living in Korea and Japan for the last bunch of years.
But they have a really good YouTube
YouTube video or YouTube channel, and they had a great episode on cocoa curry. Yeah, and actually a bunch of YouTubers talk about cocoa curry. We thought we got to try it. We wanted a little bit of a mental break because we were both having a little bit of it was a travel day, and we were in a new city, and Niigata was it was the first real challenge day.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and so we went in, and
we did have some nice microbrews, though, at the train station. There was a craft beer place where we tried like 4 different beers that were from Niigata in the area.
That was good.
And that was fun. Anyway.
But yeah, cocoa curry was surprisingly darn tasty.
It was very tasty.
We ordered way too much food.
Yeah.
And I ate it all.
I didn't.
But yeah, so that was not very experimental.
No, it wasn't. But I mean, it was one of the bucket list things. I wanted to try cocoa curry because it is like this kind of ubiquitous chain.
Yeah.
Japanese curry, which is different than Thai curry or Indian curry.
Yeah, it's
or
like
whatever.
it's like a Japanese take on Indian curry.
Yeah.
Now, what I will say, when we're back in Tokyo or anywhere else, and if I'm feeling mentally spent, I would totally eat there again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I would only get 200 grams of rice.
Oh yeah. It's weird. You order like spicy level, you order whatever your protein is or your vegetables, you order how much rice you want. And if you order less rice, it's actually cheaper.
Yeah.
So, and it was a little too much.
Yeah, 300 grams was too much.
I ate the hell out of that 300 grams. It was so good.
You can get like 800 grams.
Oh my God.
I can't even imagine.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway. So we'll move on from cocoa curry, but then we got to Soroka, and what did we ate a little bit of food on the train. Did we bring some? Oh no, but we took the Joyful train. This isn't about food.
Oh yeah.
So there's this thing out here called Joyful trains, which are basically just like some fancier train lines that only run generally on the weekends, sometimes some other special days, and they're like
scenic routes.
They're more scenic routes. They go a little slower. They don't necessarily stop at more places, but the trains themselves have all been overhauled a little bit. Some of them are like classic trains. Some of them are like newer, hipper trains. We missed the one. There's an art train that's between Echigo-Yuzawa and Niigata, which is actually the whole reason we even started looking at Echigo-Yuzawa. So we could take that arm or that leg, and we couldn't take it because it was the wrong day. But I'm super glad we went to Echigo-Yuzawa.
Yeah, for sure.
But we took one from Niigata to Soroka. We had terrible seats, but we just got up. There was like an observation area we could sit in. There was a little like cafe car we sat in for 45 minutes.
And it was about a 2-hour train ride.
Yeah. And so I don't think we really ate anything on that. We just had some sake.
Right.
And but we got to Niigata, or I'm sorry, to Tsuruoka, and decided to get some unagi.
Eel.
Which is eel, right? Or you can get eel in the States, plenty. It's usually on a little thing of rice with your nigiri.
Right.
But this was like a bed of rice with a eel slapped on it. And
slapped on it.
But this is where we're going with this one, though, is Rachel's experimentation. Is the sort of like snack to start was
eel spines.
Yeah,
lots of eel spines. Deep fried eel spines. Eel spines. They were pretty good.
They were not that unlike Fritos.
Right.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
A little crunchier. A little sharper.
Yeah. A little pointy.
A little pointy. But they were pretty good, really good little snack.
Yeah.
I noticed that there was like a business dude came in and ate lunch at the same time we were, and he only had like a couple of his, and we like polished ours. We demolished them.
We did. We ate all of our spines. We ate all of our eel. The eel was delicious.
Yeah.
It was not a cheap lunch, I will say.
No.
Eel is partially threatened, endangered.
Yeah, I think it is. It's overfished, but now I think they harvest it, or they breed it in captivity, but it's difficult to do. So I think it's kind of expensive.
Yeah. So I wasn't surprised that it was expensive. I really like eel, or I always have at sushi restaurants in the U.S., and so I was excited to try it here, so it was
Yeah.
well worth doing.
Yeah.
And it was delicious.
Yeah. But so Tsuruoka is like a super coastal town, and it's on the Sea of Japan side. Unagi is a river eel.
Yeah.
So, and I think it generally comes from the south a little bit more, but still it was fun. It was good.
We're still in search of
A good sushi.
sushi.
We tried tonight and failed here in Akita.
Yep, we did. So instead, we went to...
What the hell was the word for reserved? I already forgot. We'll have to look it back
know.
up. Went into a place, there was one table open. We tried to get it. We didn't have reservations. He tried to tell us what it was because nobody speaks English here for the most part, which they
Right.
shouldn't.
Right.
And
We just...
and part of it too is they're just not even interested in it for the most part.
Yeah.
Because again, they shouldn't need to.
Right.
But we went in, we got it figured out, and then we moved on.
Yeah. So we moved on just like half a block down to this izakaya. They were really funny. None of them spoke English either, except for like...
They spoke way more English than we spoke Japanese.
Well, that's true. I mean...
But it was a similar thing, right? They knew numbers, they knew some words for certain foods,
Right.
which is pretty much what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was fine. And they did actually happen to have a Japanese menu, or an English menu.
Yeah, which we were surprised at, because we were just going to point at stuff.
Yeah. And just
or rely on the osusume.
hope for the best. And we did that too. So, today, again,
Yeah.
adventurous
Yeah.
choices.
So I wanted to try, they had a couple things that were like on their recommended list. So I wanted to try some beef long. So we ordered beef long. And we got some chicken meatball.
Yeah, so there were like 3 special dishes on the recommended list, and one of them was beef lung. The other 2
One was the liver.
sounded less appetizing to me.
And one was something else. They had like, just chicken skin, which they looked really interesting. Someone was ordering the chicken skin. It was basically like chicharrones.
Yeah.
Except for not deep fried, like grilled on a little, like real high heat charcoal grill.
Yeah.
But we got some grilled onigiri, which is like grilled rice balls.
Those were good.
Yaki onigiri, I think is what said next to us.
We got those. We got...
But some gyoza. Those gyoza were killer.
Those gyoza
actually.
were good. Some
Yeah.
cucumbers.
Cucumbers are always pretty good here too. But we asked him, we did the osusume at the end of ordering a few things, and he suggested, what the hell were they, pig innards? Is that what it
Yeah,
said? Fried pig innards, which they looked like little tiny hush puppies, or not little tiny tater tots.
They did look a little bit like tater tots.
And
they didn't taste like tater tots.
no, they were so greasy.
They were so fatty.
And they had a good sauce on them, but I swear they tasted a little bit like if you take cheese and cook it a little bit too far so it gets chewy. It was kind of like that.
I thought they were... I didn't love them, but the reason that I didn't love them was not because they were innardy,
No.
but instead because they were just so fatty.
So greasy, yeah.
Like, I ate, like 4 or 5 of them, and that was like, okay.
Yeah, there was maybe 20 of them.
Yeah.
And they were small, because they were like half the size of a normal tater tot.
Yeah.
But those were pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And then the beef liver, or the beef heart.
Long.
Beef lung. I've had lung before. It was good. Like the sauce was super good. They were pretty chewy.
Yeah, it
That's
had
the
a
hardest
nice,
part.
it had a nice grilled flavor to it.
You finished yours, though.
I did.
You even tried the liver pate. That was the little, service
Right.
dish.
I did not love that.
No.
But I never love liver. I know that about myself. It's
And
okay.
then, what else did we eat in... we had a fancy meal
In Tsuruoka.
in Soroka at the hotel.
It was nice. The Tsuruoka, so their restaurant was like... Tsuruoka is supposedly known for vegetables. And there is...
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
There's
They're super known for rice.
Yeah,
That
and-
whole area.
And there's a lot of rice patties, but also a lot of sort of fresh produce. So, so the restaurant did have pretty fresh produce that we had some really
Yeah,
nice
the tomatoes really good.
salads.
Oh, that's the thing, right? You wanted to talk about that. What's breakfast in Japan?
So we've been to a bunch of breakfast buffets at this point. Well, Ichigo Yuzawa, Niigata, and Tsuruoka all
Yeah.
had breakfast buffets. They all have similarities. The one that was at Tsuroka was the highest quality of the food, but still like similar. So you've got fish. That's
usually like a salmon and a mackerel, just like little pieces grilled, thin, small pieces.
You've got rice always.
Yeah,
You've
rice.
got
There's usually like a sausage,
sausage.
which is kind of like a mini.
It's like a little wiener.
Yeah, it's. Yeah, but it doesn't taste like a hot dog.
No.
But it doesn't taste like another sausage, right? It's a mild sausage that's
Yeah.
like a little more sausagey than hot dog.
Yeah.
And they're usually
They would go perfectly in a pig in blanket.
yeah. But they aren't quite the same size. They're a little
They're a little longer.
thinner and longer
Yeah.
than a whatever those like.
A little smoky.
Yeah, the little smokies, right? Yeah. It was more like that seal. So there was a seal in the aquarium that was a ham. I mean, of course, he's trained to be a ham, but he had a very narrow, sharp face,
That's true. He did.
and he looked a little bit like one of the sausages.
All right. So anyway, okay. So usually there's some sausage. There's miso. There's rice.
Oh yeah, so miso soup, right?
There's natto always, which Matt
Right.
gets. There's
Usually some
very
pickles.
soft-boiled eggs, pickles.
Oh, not again, not dill pickles, but like pickled ginger, pickled
Whatever.
seaweed,
Pickled
yeah,
some kind of vegetable.
Radish
You
or
don't know quite
something.
what it
Yeah.
is. You try it anyway.
right.
Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's not.
But yeah, natto, right, which is, those who don't know, is like this weird fermented soybean that either people like it or really hate it. The first time I tried it like 20 years ago, it absolutely tasted like rotting garbage. And then I tried it again a couple years ago, and I actually quite like it.
Yep.
And the natto at Tsuroka was killer. It was like fresh and real. It wasn't like in a styrofoam package, and it was really flavorful and interesting. Not in a weird, gross way, but like a fresh way.
I'm
that was
embracing.
good.
I mean, like I'm figuring out though. Like after being at a bunch of buffets, I'm figuring out what I actually want to eat, which
Yeah.
is
And there's always a salad,
A
a
salad.
breakfast salad, and there's always corn.
and rice and miso. That's pretty good for me.
Yeah.
Like
And there's usually a nod to a Western thing. There's usually like some rolls, maybe a kind of a croissant or something.
yeah.
Maybe a little waffle, but not a waffle. More like a
Well, yeah, like a dessert waffle kind of thing.
like those are they Swedish or something or probably Dutch.
Dutch.
Yeah. But like, not even the size of your fist. But there's like definitely more food than you can eat at breakfast.
Oh yeah.
And then you usually get a little tray, and then you fill up the little compartments on your tray. So it kind of helps you portion to some extent.
To some extent, but I mean, you can just like. There's also always little bowls next to everything, so you
Yeah.
can just keep adding and adding and adding.
Right. And some juices. There's almost always usually juices. Sometimes they're bad. We're at the Dormien in Niigata. You said the juice was just like super watered down orange juice.
It was. It was not very good.
And then at the Sweden Inn in Tsuroka, it was like super sweet, fresh apple juice that was like, yeah, it was like a light colored apple cider, right?
And again, that's the difference between like a Holiday Inn and a
A fancier place.
fancier place.
Yeah.
But I will say the hotel in Tsuroka was only marginally more.
Yeah, right, because it's a
cost-wise.
small town, right?
Yeah.
There's probably not a lot of competition for fancy places there.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, so breakfasts are always interesting. The breakfast, like you can easily eat way too much and then not really be ready for lunch anytime soon.
Yeah, we didn't really. Well, I guess we kind of ate lunch today, but we've had a couple times where, like after the eel, and we just got to that hotel, which was like a mile out of town, and we were like relaxed, and I
We
was
didn't
like,
even eat dinner.
no, we didn't.
Yeah.
We just ate snacks. I was like, I don't want to walk back out.
Yeah. And, speaking of snacks, we stopped at 7-Eleven we wanted to get
Snacks.
some snacks. But that was actually the next day. We actually wanted to get lunch. So we were just going to get some like rice balls, or Rachel was going to get some little inari tofu pouches. We got some cucumbers, and we just wanted like a little bit of something to snack on. We got a couple beers, And I don't understand why, but the guy was like, said something, and he like pulled this box out that had like these two little like holes in it, and he said something, and I was like, and he was like pantomimed putting his hand in the thing, and he said like yon four yon, and like he actually said four as well. And I said, I repeated, I was like, held up 4 fingers with like, yon, and he said, hi. And so I reached in and pulled out like 4 cards that were in there. And we won a whole bunch of weird stuff. So we got this like, it was probably like a half gallon. It wasn't a half gallon. It was like.
Half liter?
Yeah, half liter of a really good.
Barley tea?
Barley iced tea. We got a giant Pocari Sweat, which is sort of like a Gatorade, Powerade kind of thing. Lemony kind of flavored, right? Mm-hmm. And a giant Monster and a Red Bull, and he
for free.
He just got them out of the container, out of the thing for us, and like put them back in our bag. And I was like, all right, I guess we've got a whole bunch of free stuff.
Yeah, I know. And then we had to carry it like a mile.
Yeah, I had no idea what the deal was, but it was kind of a fun, random experience.
So from here, this is our only night in Nikita. We had a nice day. We checked out the park, which was delightful. Yep. We checked out the art museum, which was meh. Kind of in between exhibits. Mm-hmm. So, and tomorrow we get on our second Joyful train. We take it all the way to Aomori along the coast.
So this is one that's like longer. We could get there in like 3 hours, but instead it's going to take like 5 hours.
We got
it goes
the
a
last
longer route.
2 seats on the train when we booked our seats. Like
we're not sitting together.
A week and a half ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're not sitting together. We're in the same car, but we're not next to each other.
Yeah.
And we're also we don't have a window seat.
No, it'll still be good. It'll be fun. Because the last one, we had terrible seats. We were up against the bulkhead next to the bathroom. And we still had a super good time. Granted, that was 2 hours.
Yeah, but I mean, there's plenty of space to cafes and other like observing spaces on these Joyful trains because they know people ride them just to look at the scenery.
Yeah, yeah. And one other thing I was going to say that we maybe missed, but maybe not. We'll get to it sometime.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're heading up to Aomori. Aomori was kind of the very, very top side of Honshu, the main island here in Japan. And then from there, we're going to take a flight into Sapporo in Hokkaido. So that was like kind of the number 2 reason. Actually, probably the number 1 reason for us coming to Japan. Well, number 1 was Tokyo, I suppose. Number 2 is...
Number 1 reason why we headed north was my desire to go to Hokkaido.
Go to Hokkaido, yeah. And the number 2 reason for going north was the jellyfish aquarium. So,
which we hardly talked about, but you got to go look at the pictures on Instagram because it was so cool.
Yeah, it doesn't get it otherwise.
Yeah.
So, but we do need to get up at like 6 o'clock in the morning tomorrow to catch the train.
Yep.
And it is currently late o'clock.
Indeed.
All
so,
right.
Thanks for listening.
Yep.
Keeping up with us.
Enjoy, everybody.
We'll be back from Hokkaido.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, everybody. Bye. You can check us out at anchor.fm/rainitin. That's spelled REINITIN, all one word, no spaces, and you can leave us a message there. You can also follow us at Instagram at rainitin_podcast or email us at rainitin@ssdpress.org, also spelled REINITIN at ssdpress.org. Thanks again to all of our friends and family for all the support and for putting up with us. Have a great day.